Natalie, what else are you excited about coming up at ADA?
So there's several sessions and several readouts on more GIP, GLP, glucagon, all kinds of different readouts from different molecules. And we're going to get into it next week about each trial with expected readouts. But I'm excited about the lowering of A1C, the continued look at it's not just GLP-1 anymore, is it? It's like we can add things, glucagon is coming. We have all these other ways and different ways to deliver it. Some of it's oral now and some of it's we right now we just got orforglipron approved for weight loss, but we know
Yeah.
diabetes is coming. We know that,
Right.
it's all very exciting. So I'm excited about the different trials related to GLP, GIP, glucagon.
Yeah, me too. So specifically like with retatrutide,
Yes.
I think, that's supposed to read out and the top line data was really impressive for the amount of weight loss in type 2 diabetes. And we know that type 2 diabetes is there's less weight loss compared to the trials in people with obesity without type 2 diabetes. And so I think I'm just excited to see that. And perhaps there's something unique about that triple agonism that, helps to increase that weight loss. So I think that's going to be a really huge thing. Yes, I am also excited to hear more about the orforglipron
Yes.
because now that is available for people and we're starting to see some real world use of it. And the fact that it is an oral pill, there's no special way it needs to be taken. So the ease of use of it. And the other thing is the cost.
Cost.
So
Yes,
they made it
always.
available at a very low cost. I mean, it's still a cost, but this means
Comparatively low. I think that's the better way to put it, right? So it's not
right. It's like
inexpensive,
$149
but it's
instead of
less right,
$1,000.
exactly. But it's certainly less expensive for so many people that, yeah, I think that's important. And if we can get other medications, using generics when we can for other things, then if someone really wants to use this, can they budget for it? Can they make it a different way? And I think it's really interesting. We do this when we see CGM and it's like, well, your CGM will cost whatever it's going to be. And you think there's no way this person's going to do it. And they're like, I love this. I'll never take it off. I will give up my coffee. I'll give up this. I'll rebudget. We just go out to dinner one less time a month. I want this. I think we're going
Right.
to see the same thing when we get to lower cost GLP-1s, right? I
I
really do.
yeah, and so I definitely look forward to kinda seeing some more data with that and just seeing expanded use of it. So you brought up CGM, so I think, there's of course gonna be a lot of
Yes.
data, and we're learning more and more about how CGM is beneficial even in people not taking insulin. I do wanna call out because I know Dexcom is gonna have a couple sessions and product theaters on their smart basal feature.
Yes.
And so that's a tool that helps with the titration of insulin for people with type 2 diabetes on long-acting insulin.
Which is just amazing because we send people home and we read about these titration tools and okay, go up to if these 3 things happen, do this. It's built into the app so that it helps a person say, "Okay, this is what you're doing, now go up by this much," right?
Right.
Wow, because it's then my nurse can call less often, then we can have with the people that this works for, it's gonna work amazingly well.
Right, and it's just right, there's so much therapeutic inertia. People we know get stuck on 10 units of insulin for a very long time,
Yes.
months and months. And so this tool is really designed that it uses the CGM data and then every day lets the person know what dose to take and can titrate them up to whatever dose kind of max
The max
limit the
dose. Yep.
prescriber picks for them. And they are supposed to be having a poster presentation as well there, or an oral poster on kind of the some of the initial data from this new tool. So I think that I'm looking forward to that.
I'm also looking forward to the debate this year.
Yes.
Yes. So last year, you got to do the debate on CGM, whether it should be used in special populations, and you represented CGM for all.
Right. It was
And
like over the counter CGM.
yes,
Yeah, it was CGM for all or a disaster waiting to
right.
happen.
And it was this wonderful, like, let's get creative. It's so wonderful to be
I love
creative.
debates.
I know, and I love the creativity and titling them to really bring people in to think about what are we doing and what are we asking. And your stance was CGM for all. This should be, and this
Yeah.
year's, which we all believe in. And interestingly, the ADA guidelines are, all people with type 1, period, obviously, right? And then last year it was people with type 2 on at least insulin, right?
Right.
And
Or
sulfonylureas and risk for lows. And now it's like anyone who would benefit,
right.
which is like anyone. I don't see people that don't benefit even just some of the time using
Right.
CGM, right? So all of that is changing. But now we have continuous ketone monitoring coming. So I'm super excited about more data around that, and also who is it going to be for? What do we think about it? And how are we going to use it in clinical practice?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully later this year, we'll have our first dual glucose ketone monitor. And I think that's really right, going to raise the question like, if it's the same size device and it's now monitoring two things, glucose and ketones instead of one, like, why not have everyone on it? But I could see the argument for, like, well, if you don't need that extra information, it was kind of like CGM. We used to think, like, oh, it's going to be too much
It's gonna be too
information for
much for the
people.
clinician, for the patient, it's too and
Right.
now we're like, "I don't know what to do without that data."
Right,
Right?
and we can educate people so they don't get overworked about, "Oh, okay, I'm seeing different numbers, what does this mean?" We can educate people. So, I suspect it might end up being that way for ketones. Like, why wouldn't you put so like, if you can offer this, that way you've got an extra tool in case someone's at risk for DKA, but if they don't develop ketones, like, no worries, then it'll
It's not
just
gonna it's just gonna be in the background keeping an eye on
right.
them, right?
But I think, like, definitely in the beginning, people every person with type 1, like, I just don't see why we wouldn't put them
Yeah.
on one of these that we know anyone with type 1 who's not making their own insulin can
Is
be at
at risk
risk.
for DKA, right,
Right,
absolutely, and, it's not just it's illness, I tell people, "If you start to vomit, there's a problem," right? Don't think you have the flu. You have ketones until proven otherwise, and then you say, "So, do you have ketone strips?" I prescribed them last year and the year before that and the year before that. "Do you have blood ketone?" "Yeah." I have no idea where it is. I have no idea. They're not carrying it with them when they travel. They're not, so people don't have it. They don't have access to it, right?
right,
They don't pick up the prescription because they might go a year or two without ever needing it. So, or three or four, 10.
right.
So when it's needed, it's not there. If it's on your sensor on your body, it's there. So,
Right.
especially for those people that are ketone prone or have more challenges, will this help? And what does that look like? And what is the education around it? We got a lot to hear at ADA this year.
Yeah, and I mean, with the technology, I know we're gonna hear a lot more data from the different types of AID systems, insulin pumps. There's always, it's always impressive, like the new clinical trials coming out, and we know we're trying to get closer to a fully closed loop. We know that Omnipod 5
Yes.
is enrolling people in their study for a fully closed loop for people with type 2 diabetes, meaning not needing to bolus or announce meals. So I think that's
It's
very
super exciting.
exciting.
Absolutely.
I hope we'll see kind of more, maybe some more real world data related to Twist as more users continue to use that technology.
We have a new pump coming out from MiniMed that just launched that is or
Yes.
launching this summer, right? So if you get a MiniMed 780 now, you're going to be upgraded to their new pump,
The
and that's
Flex.
Flex,
Yeah.
and it's cute, it's sleek, it's people are excited about that. So I can't wait to all of us have our hands on it and get some data around that.
Right.
Um,
The other thing I'm excited about related to MiniMed is the MiniMed Go system.
yes.
So that's their InPen, which is still the same InPen like we know and love, the connected pen, which is actually the only connected pen left on the market in the US, by the
Yes.
way. So I
Yes.
think that's like still an important need for injection users. But now they're pairing with the MiniMed Go app, which is going to work with their sensors. So the
Simplera.
Instinct and
Yep.
the Simplera.
Yep.
But like the nice thing about that is there will be real world or there'll be real time data. So right
Yes.
now it works with Dexcom, but there is a lag in that data being shared. So with this now being a direct, people can get alerts and say like, "Hey, you're higher. Do you want to give this dose of your
Right.
correction?"
It's time, right,
So
yes, or yes, absolutely. It's giving back that safety features that we wish we had had before that we didn't. So
right.
now it's improved. I think we'll use more of it because of it.
Yeah.
And when what would you use this for? People who don't want a pump, right?
Right.
They don't want one. They're not gonna wear one. They've tried it one time in 1986 and they hated it
Right.
and they have this like tragic memory done, right? And
Right.
then there's other people who say, "You're not putting anything else. I'll wear a sensor. You're not putting anything else on my body right now." They're at an age or a point in their lives where they just don't want more, and we have to offer them something. So that ability to see, insulin, active insulin, and can I give more? Can I treat? My goal is to be able to use it for pumpers who want to take a holiday. I want to go to the beach for a week. I don't want to think about anything. I'm willing to wear my sensor. I will do this with it. Thrilled, right? So because of that real-time data, I think we will see more and more use of it.